God will see me through. And I'm going to relate with those that I know have the fear of God. And I succeeded. But it's not in all situations. The Western countries that you say, in some situations you have situation. I mean, like we're having, I won't want to mention the country, but you know that some youths are fighting and are angry about the president. And when he came under the, with the backing of the youths. Because he was in opposition. And the powers that be did not want him to be there. But today, he got there and now wants to roughshod over the youths. And of course, they say no. So it's all over. It's about that thing in authority, that thing called power, in that powerhouse called, and you have mentioned it is a cabal. The cabal will not want that man or that person to now see the light of the day. Election took place in a major country of the world recently, and we knew that definitely they are going to lose because the way they were holding power, they were handling power to the detriment of the people. And those who were even telling them, don't worry, the elections is around the corner, we'll show you, we'll use our power. And for your information, that's where the power of the voters come in. And that's what we mean by democracy, being the government of the people, by the people, for the people. The people will talk when it's time for election. But then, let's now go. So that
Are these people been talking, and has their voice been heard?
No, I just told you the country that a country that is very popular. The election took place some few weeks ago. That there is a change, a shocking landslide victory, because the voice of the people was heard, and that's why we are saying that democracy. We are still getting there. And don't forget, it wasn't like this in Nigeria before. But now, incumbents have been losing their seats. Before, they will tell us that it's incumbency factor. But now, incumbents have been losing their seats. Incumbency, those that incumbents promote, they support, they lose. So we are going there. It's a gradual thing, and that's why I will tell our people who are watching that they should now know that the vote counts, and they should be ready to get their ballot, their voters card when it's time towards the next election. And I hope the management of this station will allow this program on a regular basis so as to educate our people on their civic and political rights. Then let's go back to the question you asked me, the Constitution. Simple. People will come, they will elect their people from the various units of the country. We have a ward system already. There are 774 local governments in this country, and each local government will be represented by maybe 3, 4, 5, or 6 people. It will be done. And of course, all of them, there will be a place, maybe in Abuja, maybe in Lagos, maybe in Kaduna, maybe in Port Harcourt. They will be meeting there. There will be structures in place for them to now form the constitution. They will look at the various constitutions of not only in Nigeria, but other countries of the world. Let's see how we will develop. Let's see how we will grow. Let's see all those things that have brought us down. Let us see the concentration of power in the presidency. Let's see, is the concentration of power with the governors? Let's see, is there concentration of power with the local government? What is the role of the traditional rulers? What is the role of community leaders? What is the role of the religious leaders? All these are things that we'll put in the constitution, and everybody will know his rights. I'm sure one of our topic is about our rights. Then the people too will look at their rights. So it's not as if somebody will just come and behave anyhow and you don't have any right, you can't say anything.
Well, as a constitutional lawyer and a human rights activist, so I would like you to help us make sense of what it means to have a right in a government or in a democracy setting as Nigeria. For example, they say where my right ends, probably that is where yours starts.
Yes.
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, their rights are so many when it comes to the Constitution.
Okay.
But the basic one is just what you said now. Your right ends where mine begins. But the Constitution, particularly Chapter 2 of the Constitution, talks about right to life, right to owning property, freedom of expression, freedom to worship, freedom of for fair hearing, and association. Right. So those are rights. Nobody can take it from you. In law, we call it they are your inalienable rights. They are inherent in you. They are within you. Nobody, no government, nothing, nobody can take it away from you. And if anyway, that's why particularly Section 36(2) of the 1999 Constitution says that anyone whose right is about to be infringed in any way has the right to approach the High Court of a state. right. Yeah. That is too technical anyway, but maybe later we'll break it down. Yes. But what it means is that once you see your right being infringed upon by government officials particularly, then you have a right to approach the court, particularly when it comes to arbitrary arrest by the police or soldiers. Because for starters, soldiers have no business in anything called civil engagement. Soldiers are involved in war and war activities. So when you now see soldiers beating people up on the streets or intervening, maybe you have a brother who is a soldier, and you now say,
bringing in my brother who is a soldier to settle scores with my neighbors.
And you see it happen regularly, it leads to a lot of altercations. So to that extent, all those things arise that are infringement, and of course, the law frowns against. And to that extent, you have a right to approach the court. Even you can do that without a lawyer, but the only thing is that you must know the right step to take. That is about right. But generally, as a citizen, you have a right that because you have submitted your power to this person, who is now your right per se, who is now the governor, who is now the local government chairman. He has a right now, responsibility to ensure that your well-being and security is uppermost in his mind. And that's why Section 6 of the Constitution comes in. The executive power comes in. And that section creates those executive office for them to work. And Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution provides for the security and well-being of the citizen. So Section 6 provides the executive office. Section 12 now creates that right and obligation they have for you. So it's an anomaly that you have bad roads. It is very bad that whoever is the governor or the local government chairman is not able to fix both the state road and the local road. Not to talk of the federal road by the president through the Minister of Works. Right. So those are your rights as citizen. It is the duty of government to provide all the basic amenities. That's why you pay tax.
But those things are not there. And
that's what I'm saying.
What should we do? They are not there.
Now. When they are not there now, fortunately, we have to trigger the office of the that word just ran off. The constituency office.
Okay.
The constituency office of those who represent you. All representatives, be it senator, House of Rep, or member of the House of Assembly, they all must have a constituency in their various constituents. You go there to call their attention to the issues on hand. And it is their duty to fix it, because that's why they sought your vote. If you didn't vote for them, they won't be there. And they are there because you voted for them, and they are there because they made promises. And amongst all the various contenders, don't forget, we don't have two political parties in Nigeria. We have 18 to 29. We have 29 political parties that are registered. But generally between 18 and 20 are always on the ballot in various areas. So of the 18 people who made promises to you, you voted for one person. And that person you voted for is because of the promise that is going to give you a better life. Right. And just like Fashola said the other day, a better rewarding future. So they promised you a better rewarding future. So instead of a better rewarding future, it is suffer, suffer. And as Fela sang the other day, suffer, 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 suffer for world. Right? It shouldn't be suffered. Those of us who are lucky to travel outside Nigeria, as soon as you landed in the foreign airport, Shikenang, you don't know what is called potholes. The roads are clear to wherever, in every corner, any nook and cranny. The places are tarred.
The question will always be, why is our own difference?
It's different because of leadership we have, because of the constitution we have. And that's why I say we have to pray for God to intervene. Why do we need prayer? Members of the National Assembly who are there, the senators and all of them, they will not want the status quo to change.
Because they are benefiting
from it.
Because what you don't benefit from, you might not really...
It is an issue of law. It is in that house that the law will be done. If the soldiers come, we'll drive them away. Because the world has gotten to democracy, and we want democracy. So we are no more interested in military dictatorship. So the people who can make it work for Nigeria to be better is in the National Assembly through laws.
All right. Sorry to cut in. We are due for a break. We will come back to look more into the right and also as being citizen, what is expected of, because we kind of want to say more about the leadership, but then we want to also look at the followership.
Okay.
Viewers, we like to observe a very short break. We shall be back to continue. Please do stay tuned. Are you ready for a change? As one of the most beloved TV shows is undergoing a thrilling transformation, welcome to a platform for a robust, inspiring, and engaging conversation in the world of politics and governance, business, education, and more, and concerning you as a citizen and your civic responsibilities. Watch The Citizens on Dove Television at 1 p.m. every Tuesday, West African time, and a repeat broadcast every Thursday at 11 p.m. The Citizens, we are all in this together. Welcome back. It is still The Citizen on Dove Television, and I'm being joined with a constitutional lawyer, a human rights activist, and of course the president of Voters Awareness Initiative, Barrister Wale Ogunade. Thank you for your time. So far, we've been looking at the democracy in Nigeria, looking at the constitution and election. But then let's now go further to looking at the citizen right now. We know we have our rights in the constitution, what is due of us, what we are to expect from our leaders and those we voted for and all that. But then, as citizens, as followers, what are our roles to making sure that democracy survives?
Good. Our role is to be on our guard. Our role is to ensure that we are involved. The Constitution in Section 22, Section 23, even Section 22 and 23 particularly, talks about your duty as a citizen to support government, to pay your dues, taxes. The most important one that I like of it is that you come out, register, and when it's time for election, vote. The majority of our people are failing.
Now let's spend a little time there, and thank God for your office, Voters Awareness Initiative.
So people don't vote, and they expect manner to happen.
Now, how do you convince a voter who has been voting and who has the notion or a mindset that my vote doesn't count? How do you convince such a voter
you went
to
and vote, and they counted the vote. The person you voted for, if it is those people that the person you voted for is in the majority, it has counted. We have worked to the point that the area of stealing or snatching ballot boxes is no more in Nigeria.
But sir, it happened in recent elections, in the past elections.
That one is, if it happened, it is very much isolated, if indeed it happened. Okay. It's not something that is used to be the practice. And don't forget, we have even made, we have worked to the point that if an election is mad, the ballot boxes are snatched in a place. Okay. It can't be used anywhere. It can't be used because the ballot paper for an area has already been marked, numbered, and colored. You can't steal a ballot paper in this point and take it there and add it to it and say they should count it.
But then, this thing follows several processes from the polling unit to the word collation.
No, we have passed all those stages now. We have passed all those stages.
I'm just speaking from, I know this is your office, but then
I'm involved in this. Once an election is conducted in a point, immediately, don't forget now, we are now in a technology, it's online, real time.
This is what INEC promised us the last time. A real-time uploading of results, even from the polling unit.
Yes.
Sir, it did not happen.
It happened. Okay. I am aware of what happened, that some people went and dealt with the server. It happened. Nobody complained about the governorship.
Is that what they call the glitch?
Do you agree with me that all the governorship election, nothing, they did it? The presidential was the issue, and we all knew, and of course that has been laid to rest. it was something that happened that you just mentioned now, why did they explain a glitch? Why did they experience a glitch? Because some people want to tamper with it when they knew that the result was not favorable to them. So let's leave that one. I'm talking with authority, and I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
So online real time, as soon as the elections are, you vote, there and then, there's a reading machine.
Yes.
Immediately, the thing is pressed, it sends it to the central server, that's all. So the idea of carrying boxes all over does not arise. What will happen is that they will now go to the collation center. Everybody has his result sheet anyway. Not only am I involved in election, I also handle election petition in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I'm involved in it seriously. Right. So you see, the problem with that, let us look at the Constitution. And the only way we can look at the Constitution is when those who are there, senators now, members of the House of Assembly particularly, have the fear of God that let us change this thing. They know, if they know that indeed they cannot live forever, that their children too, and their families in the villages and the various wards and the constituents that they represent too will be beneficiaries of they are not doing the right thing. I hope it's on air that we said, if the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice. Yes. So let the fear of God come in so that we do the right thing. We all go outside this country. For God's sake, a Dubai was a forest, a thick desert. But today is a tourist attraction of the world that even have this type of building that is in the background all over. Where do you see this type of building all over in Nigeria? Maybe in Abuja, maybe some in Lagos, and maybe one or two in Port Harcourt. Apart from that, forbidden, the money, and when this type of a building is set up, won't that solve the problem of accommodation? But it must be in the Constitution that will make it a must. That must do it. We have a federal housing authority in Nigeria. I can't remember if they are still working. I know you know 1004 housing estate. Yes. And I know you know some other parts of Nigeria apart from Lagos. How many of these 1004 housing estates have you seen in other parts of Nigeria?
What they used to call low-cost estates then, you know.
Live low-cost estate. 1004, you know 1004 in Victoria Island. Yes. Have you seen it in another part of this country?
Like a duplicate?
A duplicate? No. Is it forbidden? So if that type of thing we have in other places, wouldn't that stop rural-urban migration? Won't that put money in the hands of people? So that's where the Constitution comes in. Then we go from that place to the farmland. If the Constitution is not there to instruct or to talk about harnessing the national resources, then definitely the local government will just go, the local government chairman has nothing to do. All he knows to do is to wait for money from Abuja, the little that the governor will give him, he will spend, and that's all. You don't see the local government doing anything. Is it forbidden for the local government to have farm settlements? Is it forbidden for the local government to have diverse business engagement? Is it forbidden for the local government to set up what we call cottage industries? All these things are the work of the Constitution. But since they are not in the Constitution, everybody will fold in arms. They will now become what we call the prodigal son economy, waiting for the largesse from Abuja. And if the largesse does not come from Abuja, you see the wind will blow. And the innocence of the fire will be shown.
But the likes of you who are, you know, lawyers, and I know you are part of the body of lawyers, the MBAs and all that, you know, your person, your group, your association, what are you doing to lay demand on some of these aspects of the Constitution you mentioned, at least for these people to act on something? And we are not only relying on prayer, because I want to assure you that Nigerians are praying. We have prayed and we are still praying. But then when should we be expecting results?
We are working. If you watch the news now, they are talking about the Samoa Agreement.
Yeah.
And the lawyers are kicking against
the lawyers are saying, no, they didn't kick against it. They were saying that there is nothing like LGBTQ in that agreement.
No, some of us have spoken against it, that there is nothing, because the Constitution, even as clear as this Constitution is clear on the rights of people. So that right that we mentioned earlier on is there. So if it's about to be introduced, definitely some of us will kick. Don't forget that, of course, some of us are here to protect the interests of the people. And that's why we are human rights activists to fighting for the rights of the people. Yes. So that when we know that there is something bad in society, we rise up against it. And for your information, we are working towards having what we call good governance in this country. But it's not a tea party. And it's not a one-day show. Yeah. It's going to take some time. And that's why in my intro I said we are gradually getting there. You see, when we heat up the process, and that's why we want the people to be involved. Not a sit-down look and begin to look at it that, yes, there are some people who fight for us. No, the fight is for everyone. In Yoruba Palace, they call it the Jafojos. Yes, we are. But then the Ojos too will now rise. They to have to rise. You can't just fold your hands like I'm folding my hands now and expect manna to happen. Right. So all of us must put our hands on deck to ensuring that we have a country that we deserve. Or else the second leg is that the people have the leadership they deserve. It's either you fight for the country you deserve or you sleep for the leadership you have. Because on election day, there are about 5,000 people in a polling that are supposed to vote in an area, yes. And 500 people go out to vote. It means that's a minority government. But when majority of you go out to vote, then definitely you're going to have your voice will speak. And that's why you say that the vote will count. The vote will count when people who matter go out to vote. But election day, you see that it's all these other people who go out to vote. The big boys and those who are well informed, they are in their houses watching us on television, analyzing. So how do you go? Then the other set too, the other side again, some of them, I don't know, maybe on election day you go out, you see young boys who are supposed to ensure that the vote matter and the voting process goes on, they are busy playing football on election day. So if that's the situation, then definitely we won't get out of the woods. We only get out of the woods when people come out to register themselves to vote. And on election day, they come out and vote. Then definitely they have played their role on one leg. On the second leg is that they now become active. They'll be on their toes. Those who went there to represent them, Oga Senator, Oga House of Rep, waiting to happen now. We can't see you.
I think such is better done with groups of people, probably associations. And this is where I would like to take on the CDAs, CDCs, and all these landlord associations, I don't know, in other areas of the country. What are they doing as well? You know, you are the one that you will buy your land, build your house, secure your house, construct road, construct gutter, make water, make light. You know, what are you now doing as a group of people in an area at taking on government? And I'd like you to wade into that, sir.
Yes, these groups, the CDA and all that you are calling, they are an appendage of government.
Okay.
They are the structures that government uses, part of the local government system.
Okay.
I mean, they are the, how do we call it now, the grassroots people that the local government feeds on to get things done. And in most cases, they are like appointed by the local government people. So they can't fight the local government. That's why we have to look at the people. The people themselves who bear the bond, whose vehicle are spoiled. I mean, I have matters, I have court outings in Itori and Ifo.
Okay. Those areas are...
Oh, you know the place.
I know the
and I'm sure people are watching too, know the place.
Itori, Ifo,
my mechanic is working on my vehicle now. The vehicles, everything is scattered, pata. It's scattered. And I pity those who stayed. I go there once in a while. You can imagine those who live there, who now have to, is a daily occurrence. The roads are bad.
Why is it so difficult for our government to do just like
No, leave it. I'm going somewhere. It's not the government, but the people who are silent over their plight. For your information, because of the way, the social media made a big noise of this road issue. Okay. And that's why Abiodun woke up and now said that he's giving some contractor a matching order. It's not what's that, Dero Road alone that is the problem. What of the E4? What of the Ota Road? What of the Igbesa, Agbara Road? These are places I know, not that they are telling me. I crisscross Nigeria, I told you. What of the... There's this corner road behind the place has run off my brain. I hope maybe before we finish, if it comes back. There are so, in fact, it's as Ogun State is the headquarters of bad roads. And I hope that Kwabiodun will hear this and get to work. Unfortunately, he does not have an election, but it may affect his party. And I hope this aspect must be brought out. Because if the people are not happy, then definitely the next election, that party will be voted out. And there's no go-cry about it. The people, their sacrifice is that they have voted you in. And their reward must be giving them good governance.
Yes.
That's their right.
And you know, as people, I don't think we are requesting for so much.
They are not spending their money. It's not Akpabiodun's money, neither is it Tinubu's money. It's not their money, it's the state's money. It's our money. And it's for them to now apply it appropriately. Not going on overseas trips and taking the whole funds there in the name of Estacot. People are suffering. And there's nothing that stops state government from establishing factories and agro-industries. Ogun State is an agro-allied state. With the farmland available, one will expect that by now they should cash on the farm settlement established by the Obafemi Awolowo and co.
Those ones are no more.
So why are they no more? We don't have money.
They are no more. These are things the attention of our government should be called onto. And if you are watching us, he is just making references to what he knows and what he's seeing virtually every day because he stays in Ogun State. I stay in Ogun State as well. And
I'm in Nigeria. And I'm from Nigeria.
Yeah, we are mentioning Ogun State and we are calling out the governor of Ogun State. But then in your own state too, you need to call out your governors. Call out those who are representing you. And I think this is what we need to do as citizens, you know.
That's what we are saying.
You know,
you must
calling them to responsibility.
You must call them out. They called Akpabiodun out now. He has now woken up. If he goes back to slumber, they call him out again. If he goes back to slumber, they call him out again. Then if you now refuse, the elections are approaching, we know what to do. Then the same thing happens to other states too. Is he in Edo State? The elections are coming in Edo State. You know what they are doing with Obaseki now? The man refuses to work on the rural area. The Igwebe, the Afuzi Road, the Auchi Road, the Ekpoma Road. All these places are bad roads. I know, not that they are telling me. That's in Edo State. So, the people are now waiting that, well, they are ready to cast their votes. The man has now woken from his slumber. He's trying to fix some roads.
In the way of buying people's mind.
Buying people's mind. But that's not what we are waiting for. The Yoruba will say, the deed has been done. The deed has been done. The people have made up their mind that what they want to do now is that they want to do boju-boju. There's no
whether you do it for them or not, they have made up their minds.
Have opened. And we want to take a cue. We want the Nigerian voter to take a cue from the Edo people. That never should any governor or any politician take them for a ride. It's not that they should come 4 years, some quarter to 4 years, they will not start behaving nice. No, their behavior must be from the onset.
Yeah, election is coming up at Edo State. So I'd like you to also speak to those who are there, what they should do as educating the
Don't
voters.
Worry about the Edo people. The Edo people are sharp people. I like them. They are sharp and
really?
smart. I know that. You see, go to the social media, you see the way they are acting and reacting. To the Oba himself, the way he's dealing with the politician who want to use him to get people's votes. Say, no. Go and do your own thing. Don't bring the Oba. They are smart people. But again, maybe to just listen to you, the Edo people know what the right thing to do. They know those who have served them, and they know those who do not serve them. And they know those who are pretenders, and they know those who are contenders. So they should now choose amongst those who are presenting themselves so that, and of course the Bible tells me, they are wolves coming in sheep's clothing.
So we are watching our radars are on Edo election. At least, just as you said, now that could be a kind of a platform or a template,
obviously,
for general election in Nigeria, because there is need for a total shift to what it should be as bringing forth democracy in Nigeria. So. Now, talking about the rights of citizens, now let's talk about riots. And I know some of you, you should have been one Jagaban or one king now, as the case may be, when it has to do with rioting and all that, or protesting. Now, sorry for the word rioting, protesting.
Yeah, so, right. If you call it riot, it's the same thing. That's why we call it in local palace. But of course, we are protesting, and you got it right too. The president is protest king. He's been involved in it. We've been in the trenches together. And of course, protests come when people are disenchanted. They are not happy about where things are. And of course, it's one of those things that is allowed under the law, that you protest. The only thing is that they should not go violent. That's all. You go on a procession, you ventilate your anger, come out with placards. That's what we do. We do it regularly. They know us. And of course, the whole idea is to ensure that society gets better. Once we protest, it means that we are protesting against something. Everybody is a protestant. Everybody protests. When you were a baby, you are protesting. You, did I see?
I think I do that a lot. Especially when the food is not ready on time.
All of us are Protestants. We all protest. So we take it from that home front to the national front that, no, government is not treating us very well. We are not getting what we ought to. Especially when we now see that those in government, some of them, before they get to government, their neck is as long as a Maggi bottle. You know how that Maggi bottle is? Very long and thin. Yes. But they get to government and they now become pot-bellied, and their neck is very wide. They are now becoming fat on us. No, it shouldn't be. No doubt, the principle here is that he who walks in the altar must eat from the altar. But that does not mean you now finish the altar, that there will not be another altar. What am I saying? You go there to serve the people. No doubt, the person that gives the child a food, he too must put something in his mouth. Agreed. But not that you now leave the child hungry, that just you said now, then you now begin to eat everything. The child will protest. You hear the shout of the child, he will start crying. Then the neighbors will start asking, what is wrong now? You say he should shut up, Jare. You start begin to close his mouth. And the more you close his mouth, the noise will be more, like they did to Bartimaeus when he was shouting, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, have mercy. I can't quiet. No. The more they shouted, the more they were telling him to keep quiet.
The more he was shouting.
But thank God for Jesus Christ. He came and said, no, he didn't even, bring him, let him come. And these evil people that we are saying, keep quiet, we are the one that called him to his blessing. I hope this will happen with our people. They should have the fear of God. Once people start agitating, like now we want to breathe in Nigeria, the cost of living has shot up beyond the roof, top. I was in Ijebu last Thursday. For you to know, there is a place called Rccg. Go and do your research. I was in that market. Wow. And you need to see, I was asking. It's a local. It was a farmer's market day. And yet, prices of goods and services. In fact, I can't remember the last time I saw local tomatoes. Local tomatoes, you see, from the farm, still with dirt, with sand on its body. Local tomatoes. It was pricing. It was high. People were going, they were now calling themselves so as to gather together to share. People are struggling to survive. And I hope this one will be shared to the president. Maybe God will use this interview to touch his heart. Amen. Because he got there, I repeat again, he got there by the grace of God and the grace of the people. This should not be their payback. The powers that be that did not want him to get there, they are the one enjoying from this government. They are there holding various offices, riding in public consume. They don't buy fuel. But we that suffered to vote him in, we are the ones suffering. And I hope that will be a thing of the past. God will change his heart. Then he will now do the right thing so that all of us will be happy.
Yeah, because of our time, let's quickly, start trying to wind up on the program. But then I would like you to conclude with this, just the point you ended on right now, as the hardship in the land. Now, don't you think there are one or two things we also need to do as citizens? Probably we might have to, visit our garden. Probably start doing one or two things at our backyards, putting one or two seeds down to start growing something. Probably people should start, making an attempt to going back to the farm, So what do you have to say to that?
The Yoruba will say it is hunger that has not taught somebody a lesson.
If you are very hungry at times, your brain will reset.
Yes. So I don't think we need to tell anybody to go back to the land. I live where I stay. I have a garden. Maybe my background. I used to be a farm boy before I got education. Maybe my background. So I always like my hands busy. So tilling, farming. And of course, thank God my wife too happens to be a home girl. So she too, you see all the various grains. Maybe the age I am now, definitely grains. Yeah. So all the various grains, all the various green vegetables, they are in the backyard. They are banana, plantain, oranges, mango, all in the background there. So, no doubt, the second leg is farm. Go around, look for one plot of land, buy it, get it, and of course, farm on it, and you are good to go. But my own is that there is an institution called the Nigerian Agricultural Bank, and there's another agency again, I can't remember that one too, that they are involved in helping people to getting agricultural activities done. I hope that they two come out, and people should engage them too.
There is no organization or a sector or an establishment you are looking for that you not found in Nigeria. The question is, are they working?
They are not working because the Constitution did not make them to work. Whatever money that they are making, it goes to the private pockets of those who are the leaders. And that's why you see sleaze all over, corruption all over, That's why you see that all those who are earning government, and who are earning money for government, you find out that the leadership of those organizations mess up the financial status. You see, very soon now, we begin to hear them going on one foreign trip or the other, and at the expense of the people. And there's nothing that comes out of those foreign trips. You just go there to squander money. And locally, the same thing. So to me, is the Constitution, just as we mentioned here, we have to look at it. But looking at it, it is those who are senators and those who are in the House of Reps. Do they have the fear of God? If they don't have the fear of God, they won't change it because nobody will want to. It's just like we want them to kill themselves. They are benefiting from it. Look at the Constitution now. The Constitution, I don't know why they drafted it to the extent that the senator can be a senator for life. A member of House of Representatives can be a member for life. The only thing that can make him not to be a member for life is when he's voted out through the instrumentality of another party coming in. But he, having the ticket of his party, he's there forever until he does not want. And that's why you see someone in the Senate since 1999 till now, he's still in the Senate.
He's still there.
You see someone in the House of Reps, from now, he's still there. Member in the House of Assembly, from now, he's still there. Because the Constitution has been so made.
It has empowered them to be.
But once the Constitution said yes, like the governor too, every 4 years, like the president, every 4 years, then after that, maybe we'll give you another term, maybe another 4 years. That's 8 years, at most 8 years. That's all.
Wow. You have encouraged us. I know you are a pastor, and you won't say otherwise. You have encouraged us to keep praying. We will not tire.
Why I bring in the prayer point, prayer aspect is that those people need God to touch them. Because they have already made up their mind that this is a natural thing. Nobody has a honey in his mouth.
I want to spit it out. We must say a very big thank you to you, Sir Barrister Wale Ogunade. Thank you so much for your time and your wealth of knowledge you've shared with us today. The Lord bless you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And just as you said, we are going to invest more time on this voters awareness thing. And God will help us as regular as we can. We'll be bringing you up to share with us. Thank you so much for your time. All right, viewers, I want to say a very big thank you for being part of this episode of The Citizens. As we said, the take-home is that get on your right, and get on your roads. Please do your bit and let us see together that Nigeria moves forward. And the Lord will help us to achieve that in Jesus' name. If there is any space or an empty land around you, please get on it, put something on the ground, grow something for yourself. It will be good for you, and you will benefit out of it. The Lord bless you. Till I see you again next time. My name is Mike Adekunle. Bye for now. Are you ready for a change? As one of the most beloved TV shows is undergoing a thrilling transformation, welcome to a platform for a robust, inspiring, and engaging conversation in the world of politics and governance, business, education, and more, and concerning you as a citizen and your civic responsibilities. Watch The Citizens on Dove Television at 1 p.m. every Tuesday, West African time, and a repeat broadcast every Thursday at 11 p.m. The Citizens, we are all in this